Sisters who watch. Sisters who watch. Sisters who watch.
Love is blind.
Hey, all, hey. Welcome to Sisters Who Watch.
Hello, I'm Shelby.
And I'm Laura, and we're sisters who watch everything. TV, movies, sports, concerts, and even couples falling in love, sight unseen. We love to watch, and we love talking about it even more. Today we're watching
Love is blind. The finale and reunion of Netflix's hit dating show set in Washington, D.C.
Woo woo. And before we get into our review, please make sure you're giving Sisters Who Watch 5 stars wherever you listen. 5 stars, please. Rate, download, subscribe. Follow us on all our social media platforms at Sisters Who Watch. You can donate to us, you can Zelle us, and you can buy our merch on our website, sisterswhowatch.com. Thank you, guys.
Appreciate y'all.
Okay, Shelby, please get into the background of Love is Blind, of this wild show.
So we did a part 1 review already. So if you have not listened to our season 7 part 1 review, go check that out. We go into all the details on the first half of the season, the premise of the show, all the craziness. And so this episode, we're going to focus on the last 4 episodes of the season, the Pod Squad party, meeting the families, sadly more breakups, the wedding dress and suit fittings, bachelor and bachelorette parties, and of course, the final weddings and reunion a year later. Woo!
Alrighty. What were your expectations coming into the second half of the season?
I was worried about the couples. We went from having 7 engaged couples at the end of the pods, and it already was starting to dwindle. Before episode 10, we were down to 5 couples. And spoiler alert, only 2 make it down the altar. So we have been losing couples like flies. They're just dropping. So I was right to be worried. I was justified, for sure.
Yeah, I agree. Because, right, all this stuff about Tyler's baby mama drama was coming out, and we do a deep dive on that in the first half of the season.
Mm-hmm.
And I just had no faith in any of these couples. I remember we were saying we don't think any of them should get married except for Garrett and Taylor. And I still stand by that. The expectations were low. I was like, these Black love stories are horrible. Chocolate City failed me, I must say.
High expectations. And
yes,
strong.
Very high expectations for the beginning of the season. Expectations plummeted for the second half. Okay, let's get into the couples. So this episode, we're gonna go couple by couple again and just do a deep dive on all our feelings. Okay, starting with our Black love story, one of many, Alex and Tim. What did you think about their breakup in the final episodes?
Tim switched up. It felt like a crazy change from going to meet Alex's family and read her father such a kind letter, to then being so rude and matter of fact about how I never want to see you again and breaking up with Alex. It just seemed very extreme. I was like, wait, this is a 360? What happened to the guy that was acting so sweet in the pods? And what happened to the guy that 2 days ago was like professing his love to her
the most important man in her life? She goes on about how much her dad means to her. And for him, like she said, Tim in the reunion, oh my gosh. Like the way he kept on going back and forth, she was like, you asked my dad for his blessing, and then 2 days later you were calling things off. And then he just made so many excuses, and he kept on deflecting. Mm-hmm. She was like, why did you do that? And then he was like, well, my parents were here and then you took a nap. And she explained the whole nap situation. Then he was like, but my parents are all the way here and you still took a nap. Like he wasn't able to defend himself or explain his actions because he knew he was in the wrong. So he just kept on bringing up other things. And you saw that during their fights. Like he shuts down, he deflects, and he was trying to be like, you know, I'm a Black man. I literally, Shelby, when he started to go on that tangent, I was like, stop, please. Bring it back, reel it in. You have lost me, Tim. He's like, I'm a 225-pound, 6-foot black man in America. It's like,
I don't want
no,
people
thank
to
you,
think I'm
Tim.
angry. You know, I don't want
My
people
voice
to.
carries.
I was like, Tim, come on.
Get out of here. It's sounding like excuses on excuses.
I will
I'm sick of
say
Tim.
that I thought it was hilarious how Alex was eating her wings during the breakup. She was like, I'm hungry. I just got back from my day. You're in the mood and about to break up with me, but I'm still going to eat. And I thought that was
Facts.
so funny. I was like, good for you,
Love
girl.
it for her. Good
And
for
it looks
her.
good. Made me want some wings myself. I just felt like his rationale for the breakup was like, him being upset that she napped when his family was in town.
Makes no
Which,
sense.
again, seems like an excuse. I'm like, that's not a valid reason in my eyes, especially when she explains, like, oh, I was working all day and then I had to go back out to work. So I literally just needed like a quick nap to recharge. And so when you understand that background, you're like, wait, so she had spent hours with your family and then had to go back to work and just wanted to nap beforehand and you're mad?
It's
It
giving.
doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. It's honestly giving sociopath. Like, I was trying to understand his background, but I think he's like so self-absorbed, and he is such a he has such a big ego. He's like, "How dare you call out my name? How dare you call me out my name?" I'm like, "Can you take it down? Take it down." Then he was like, "How dare you disrespect my family by taking a nap?" And it's like, it's not equating, right? Like, clearly he's like, "How dare you put your hand over mouth?" Like, all this stuff. And it was interesting her being like, "I was trying to protect you. You were raising your voice. The producers," this was crazy. When she was like, "The producers heard you and were trying to knock on our door to try and check in on me because they heard you getting angry." I thought that was so wild. I'm like, something's wrong with this man. Something is off, and that's why this nice, sweet man, who came off so well in the pods, is still single. Like, there's a reason. And because Tim came off so well, and then he gives like toxic, macho Southern black man. I'm so sorry, Tim. He really does. And I just did not, he was like, and the way he talked to her in the reunion, he was like, y'all want a man who loves on you, and then you act like that. I was like, it felt like he was talking to all black women in America. Right?
He was on his high horse, and he felt like he had a moment to disparage all black women. Like, okay.
Yes. That's what it was giving. I was like, he seems like someone who would call a woman a black queen and also uses females. That's Tim. He's giving toxic Southern black man. Like, no.
Agreed. And the breakups continue. Alex and Tim are just the first. So after they break up, Hannah and Nick are the next couple to fall. The writing was on the wall with them for a while, to be honest, right? Hannah goes to Nick's family's home and is like nitpicking and saying all these things. And then when we meet Hannah's brother, Nick's making jokes and Hannah takes them personally. Like, there were bad signs.
Oh, yeah.
And then it kind of comes to a head at the Pod Squad party. As always, there's always drama when all the people from the pods reunite, even when they're not in couples. And Hannah gets mad at Nick for flirting with Katie, who she says is one of her best friends, but was also dating Nick during the pods. But of course, they didn't work out. And it just felt like Nick wouldn't have been able to do anything right, Like, no matter what happened, it felt like Hannah was going to be upset.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And the way that she was talking to Ashley, talking about her and Nick's sex life, that was so bad.
So bad. She was like, yeah, he's not really that great. Da, da, da.
I'm really adventurous, and like, he's not really into that. And I was just like, oh my.
She's like emasculating this man.
I know, that was rough. Before we get into what I think about the reunion and that whole dynamic, what did you think of the breakup and Hannah deciding not to go to the dress fitting?
It felt bizarre for them not to have had the breakup before. She's like, oh, I'm not going to the dress fitting. And he's like, oh, I guess I can't go to the suit fitting. Like, you guys should have the formal breakup before that. Not everyone at the dress fitting. Like, where's Hannah? Where's Hannah? It just felt bizarre and like badly timed. again, I felt like the writing was on the wall. She should have broken up with him the second they were in Mexico, and
Yeah.
she didn't like him in the dock. Like, she should have nipped the bud in there because she's not been into this man for a while. So
Literally.
I think it was too little too late. And I thought she was very harsh during the breakup, which made me kind of feel bad for Nick. And
Mm-hmm.
you hate to see it,
I
truly.
know.
How
Yeah,
did
I
you feel about
know.
the breakup?
We Yeah, we talked about it. We hate when a woman on these shows makes us feel bad.
Oh my gosh.
Feel bad for a man, especially someone like Nick, who I don't even like. And I
Literally
think,
care less.
right? And I think the reunion shed like some good light on the whole situation because I think, yes, Hannah was very harsh and mean to Nick. But I think the edit made it seem like, oh, Nick, poor Nick, like he's
Mhm.
getting bullied by Hannah. And it just seemed like, oh, Nick was saying these, horrible things about Hannah off camera, and Hannah, owns it. You know, she's always herself all the time. She owns it, which I thought was interesting. And the way, I know she was harsh because in the breakup she was like, "You're not mature. You're not financially literate. I'm smarter than you." Like it.
Really bad. Like, you shouldn't talk to anyone that way.
No, not at
You
all. I
shouldn't.
know. She was mean.
So even
And
if,
that's not
like,
being direct, right? She was like, I'm
no,
just direct.
you're
That's
being
being
rude.
mean.
Yeah, I hate that is one of my least favorite things. Because all of these people who are like, I'm direct, I'm to the point, I'm
I'm just honest.
dishonest. No, you are mean.
So I'm curious, what did you think of Hannah's glow up at the reunion? I mean, she looks so different.
I feel like I barely recognize her. And I'm happy. She's happy. I mean, she struggled to say she loves herself, so who knows if she's happy.
That was
That was
so
sad.
sad.
And I
And then
think
she was about to start crying. Oh my gosh.
it's a reminder that just because you lose weight doesn't mean like you feel better about yourself, right? Like, it's about
No.
self-confidence and loving yourself no matter what. So that was
That
tough to
was
see.
rough. That was so rough. I know Vanessa was trying to be like, yeah, girl, you glowed up. You look amazing. And I forgot the question that she said, but she was like, I think I love myself. And I was like, oh, yikes. Why are you on Love is Blind? This is what I'm like. This is for people who are ready to get married. I mean, Hannah clearly is not ready to get married. I mean, she's 26, she's young. And I just don't understand. In the words of RuPaul, if you can't love yourself, how the hell are you going to love somebody else? It's like, why are you on the show if you have no confidence?
For sure. I think we saw one. Hannah probably got a bad edit and Nick got a good one.
Yeah.
And there's probably things that about Nick we didn't see, but it's he said, she said. And
Yeah.
if he's not going to own up to it and we weren't shown it, then how are we supposed to understand?
Right.
And then 3, she clearly has a lot more personal things that she has to deal with that probably lead her to be more harsh or more bitchy than she wants to be,
Yeah.
There's deep-rooted stuff going on.
I know. So we wish her the best because, right, like she looks like a model, right? Like
Right.
she's tall, she looks gorgeous. I'm just like, and clearly she's smart, like she's accomplished. She just needs, and she has self-awareness. She's like, yeah, I need to do better with my delivery. But it's like, what are you doing to work on that?
Yeah.
I hope she's in therapy and
people
all
that say like, yeah, I'm working on it. Yeah, I know if and they don't do anything. That's also
like, but what are you doing, right?
Yeah.
And what did you think? My last question about this couple. What did you think of Nick's alleged grenade comment about Hannah and how he was like, I never said that, I never said that, I never said that. But I think everyone on the couch was like, bro, you did say that.
What does it even mean to say someone looks like a grenade?
I was also trying to rationalize that in my head. I was like, is he?
What does a grenade look like?
To me, you know how people are like, like a busted, people will call someone like a busted can of biscuits or something. Do you know, have you heard that? No. Kind of like a little exploded, like
big Pillsbury biscuits thing.
Like a bus cannabis. That's where my head went, where I'm like, oh, like she doesn't, like she looks big, she looks explosive, like she
Oh,
looks
interesting.
like
I literally
not proportionate.
had
Like that's
no.
kind of what where my head went.
My head was like, oh, is she just very explosive, like strong personality? Like that's what I thought. Because when I think of Grenade, I think of something blowing up, and she
Mhm.
does have a very strong, intense personality. I'm like,
Yeah.
what is a grenade supposed to physically look like?
Yeah, I think it's a weird thing to say. I initially was like, oh, he was kind of like fat shaming her. Like that's where my mind went.
I
Kind of
hope
like the bus can of biscuits. I don't know why grenade equals that, but that's where my mind went.
not.
Fans, listeners, let us
Yeah.
know what does
Like,
it mean to look like a grenade?
because I'm like, why are these people so offended about this grenade comment? Because I don't. What does that even mean?
And
Right?
then Ramses was like, just own it. Like this is a time, to like show
But he didn't
humility.
say Nick own it. He was still very vague to me.
I know. I was like, I'm telling you, the men on this season were so horrible. And this is what all the men do on all these shows. Love is Blind, Love Island. The men just enable each other. They will not call each other out. It is
Yeah,
so annoying. And this is like what creates a toxic masculinity culture. They're just like
like
support the
bro code.
bro code. And it's like your man is lying. Like I don't get. I feel like women do a better job at calling each other out, and we saw that like on the couches. Marissa being like, "Yeah, Hannah was really horrible to Nick," and they're
My
friends.
bestie,
And
and
it's like, why wouldn't like
Mhm.
Ramses be like, "Yeah, bro, you did say that. Own it," instead of being like, "This is a time for humility, man." It's like, bro, y'all are toxic enablers, and this is why you guys are immature and in your 30s. Yeah, that was really annoying. And then he admitted being like, yeah, I said that I was underwhelmed by her looks. So he
after
did
like
say it.
30 minutes,
Yes, after being
it was
like, I never said that. I
after
never
being
commented
like
on her
found
looks
it.
ever. I never said anything about how Hannah like. I'm like, you are a liar. I'm like, Nick is so clearly a liar.
Oh.
So I appreciate that they like pressed him because I think the edit, like, I don't know why the editors want to give him such a, make him look so good.
Yeah. So even like I do feel like by the end of it, even though I was like, why are we spending 30, 45 minutes on Hannah and Nick? I kind of understood it, but
Mhm.
I also felt like it's because the editors didn't do a good job of showing their story on both
Yeah,
sides in the first place. So then they felt like, oh, we need to like
it needs to be more
be more
balanced.
balanced now. I'm like, oh, it's
Definitely.
a little too late. You should have done a better job with the actual show.
What a mess. Speaking of couples that are a mess, Marissa and Ramses.
Another breakup. Just
They had, at the beginning of the wedding episode, they had honestly one of the worst breakups I've seen in reality TV. That was so bad.
it felt like Marissa was way more invested than Ramses.
Clearly. He had one foot out the door.
And because of that, I'm like, should she have been so shocked and heartbroken?
Ouch.
Like, I get it. She was like in love with this man, but it was kind of like making me think of like Jen and Devin. I'm like, bruh, not like a beautiful girl being like,
Hung up
hey,
on some mid man with a bad
yeah.
personality.
I'm like, girl,
No.
stop. You're too
Devastating.
good for
No,
this.
literally seeing her on the floor having a panic attack over Ramses, I was like,
Ugh.
I could not. It was so hard to watch. I was like, girl, you were 10 times more beautiful, better in every way than this man. He does not deserve you. He
Of course.
resents your military service. Like he refuses to wear condoms.
Yeah, there were red flags. He was a hotep, but also super conservative. I'm like, okay, it's too much.
I know, he's like it literally. So Ramses, because she was gonna marry this man, right? She was gonna marry this man. Ramses did her a favor, and her mom was like, "Yeah, thank you for breaking up with her because you guys were not a match, right?"
Saved her from a divorce
Right,
and
saved
more
her
harm.
from a horrible, horrible
God
marriage.
protected her.
Literally, I'm like, I was so happy because I was like, they cannot get married, and Marissa was all in on this man. What do you think of him being like? Your energy is just like so much. Like I loved it in the beginning, but then I just don't think our energies are compatible. Girl.
I hated that because I feel like that's probably preying on her insecurities. She
Of
said that, like, yeah, I don't
course.
want to be too much. And he literally ugh, just let her down in every possible way. I
For
feel
real.
like Ramses and a lot of guys out there want easy. They
Of
want
course. They don't want someone to challenge
simple.
them.
Yeah, they don't want to be challenged. They don't want complex, and they want someone quiet
Yes.
and
Who's just gonna listen,
yeah,
cook, and
submissive.
smile.
So clearly that's not Marissa. And if
No.
you knew that's what you wanted or needed for your energy to be balanced, then you should have in the pods nipped it in the bud. Because
Right.
you could feel her energy then. You knew she was a bubbly personality. You knew she had a lot to her.
Mm-hmm.
You were
And you
talking
knew she
for
was in
hours.
the military.
Yeah, you
I
knew all
forgot.
this. So to make her pick you over Bowden,
Oh, Bowden.
who I told you, remember, I said I was a Bowden fan.
Yeah,
When
you're
we
Team
went
Bowden.
Ramses, I just didn't really sit well with me. Like, for her to have two connections and then end up with the guy that breaks her heart, brutal.
Oof.
So
That
bad.
was so bad. Crying over him with his two little dreads. Did you see he cut them off at the reunion? Interesting.
I guess he looks better, but he still looks crazy.
No, his outfit was so bizarre.
Right?
I
It
was
was
like,
wild.
what was he
Still looks wild.
wearing? It's not like he looked better.
No.
He just looked different.
I'm like, I'm glad I
His
guess it's
outfit was horrible. His outfit was really
gone.
bizarre.
Laura. So a few people have commented on our social media and videos saying they think Ramses is gay.
What? I
And
have not heard this theory.
I was shocked because I was like, wait, what? Because we posted a video on TikTok and Instagram, so follow, about Ramses. We were talking about him in our last episode about how he was a clown, saying like, "Yeah, I don't like the military, and I'm super progressive, but also I don't want to wear condoms." And like it was just walking contradiction. So we posted that video, and some people commented about him being gay or giving gay vibes. Do you feel
Wow.
that?
He's definitely eccentric. He's, metrosexual as they say.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't initially get that vibe, but anything is possible. And I have a lot of questions about him. So that could be one of them. I have a lot of questions, Ramses. I have a lot.
We have a lot.
Yeah. Did you see the pictures of him and his ex wife?
No.
Y'all, you gotta look at. He looks so funny. He looks like a good little Christian boy. He like clean shaven, short cut hair, like in this, he looks kind of dorky, and he's like married. His ex wife was this tiny Asian woman.
Really?
The pictures
Where
are
did you see
so
it?
funny. It's giving like it was kind of giving like Mormon couple a little bit.
Oh my gosh. It looks so different. I don't believe it.
Look at him.
Wait, that's
Look
him.
at him.
Clearly, he's gone through some stuff. It's giving rebellion. It's
I
giving.
know. I saw that picture. I was like, oh, like
He's been through a lot.
so. Yeah. Very funny. Okay. And the way he tried to like defend himself at the reunion, being like, that conversation about contraception was not just long and nuanced. I was like, boy, please get out of my face. Thank you.
Forget about it.
Thank you.
Get out of here.
Okay, Taylor and Garrett.
Happier couple.
What do you think about their final few episodes?
They had been pretty solid, right? We're like, they're definitely going to get married. But they had a little hiccup, which I don't really fully understand, like the story. Mm-hmm. But on the way to the Pod Squad party, you see Taylor really upset and Garrett trying to calm her down. And she's like, yeah, if you get a text or message from your ex, like, you need to tell me right away. You shouldn't respond. All this stuff.
Yeah.
And he initially was like, oh, I just liked it. And then later on, he said, I responded to it. And it's like, wait, what's happening? So there were some discrepancies in the story, which I thought was a little concerning. And Taylor was like really upset with him the rest of the night. They eventually got past it. But I feel like between that and this whole like potentially moving to San Diego thing were like little blips that they were able to move past, which was good.
Yeah. I thought this just showed. I was like, oh my gosh, why are all men liars? Obviously, not all men are liars. Not all men are liars. But I was just like, all these men this season were just failing me in some way or another.
For real.
Obviously, the fact that I was talking to a friend about this, the fact that Garrett's the best man on this season,
It's a low bar.
and I'm like, Garrett's fine. Like, I don't have a strong opinion on Garrett.
Yeah.
Garrett's fine. He seems like a nice man.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. And that's literally it. But I'm like, why is he lying about this text? Like, it just felt so bizarre. Just say, I respond to her being like, thanks for reaching out. I'm engaged. Let's stop communicating. Like, just say that. But the fact that he had to lie about it and be like, oh, I just liked it. It's like, why are we doing this? It just, I was just like, oh my gosh, why are all these men?
Please.
What's going on?
I feel like a high point of the relationship was honestly their families.
Yeah.
Like Fong and I'm forgetting Taylor's dad's name, but I thought they were really cute and they were supportive. And Garrett and Taylor went to San Diego to see her family, and they showed like really cute photos and moments. And then Garrett's family, a little hesitant, but eventually supportive too.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, they seem like the only healthy couple, right, this whole season. Both their families approved and were involved. You know, they had a great trip to San Diego, which I thought was cute.
Yeah.
The fact that both of their parents got married on the 13th, just like them.
Unreal. That's what it felt like.
The divine timing.
I was like, oh, this is clearly like the Lauren and Cameron, the
right.
Well, what's the black couple from Seattle?
Brett and Tiffany,
yeah,
of course.
Clearly like giving Brett and Tiffany, like it felt like, oh, this is a couple that is meant to be together.
Yes.
Things are aligning.
Yes, they were clearly right. The plants from the beginning. Two scientists who have science tattoos. Like, you know, the producers knew that they would gravitate towards each other and probably pick each other. So yeah, they definitely were the most compatible. But it's like, I don't know. I don't really ship them. Like, you know, I'm not like obsessed. I think they're fine. They're cute. And that's kind of it. I have no strong opinions on.
And I think I saw that like Taylor has the most followers out of all of the cast on Instagram, and I'm like, I guess by default, she's
the star, and it's like, oh, interesting.
Yeah, I don't know.
I feel like on any other season, she would be like a background character.
Yeah,
because it's not like
it was weird.
I also like Taylor. Like, I think Taylor is sensible. I mean, she's also gorgeous. Like, every time I see her, I'm just like her at the reunion, oh my gosh, that look was incredible. So I also just think I love looking at Taylor. She's so pretty.
She's tall. She's a former athlete. Love to see that.
She's like so striking, but I also just think she's the most like normal, kind person on the cast, right? So, but it's not like she has like a glowing personality. Like, she's just like nice and sweet. So I don't know. I think they're a perfectly fine couple, and I wish them happiness.
I'm assuming. What did you think of Garrett's new look at the reunion? His glow up.
So I think on Instagram, the look translated better. When I saw him at the reunion, I was like, he looked kind of bizarre. Like, that jacket? Like, what was he wearing? The jacket, the hair, like...
He's doing a lot.
It was all too much. The jacket... Just wear a tux, wear a suit. Like, I didn't like the whole thing. I was not feeling his look at the reunion.
I like the hair.
Yeah, I like the hair.
That looks better on his face. He looks younger. He looks cooler. Definitely was giving nerd before. I mean, he is a nerd, but now he doesn't look as much like one.
Right.
But I agree. I think the outfit could have been better.
Yeah. And it was interesting. Everyone online was like, oh, this is like, you know, the look of a married man, right? Like, oh, a woman touched him and now he looks like this. And it was interesting. He's like, oh, I've always been into fashion. And like, I walked at Fashion Week. I was like, what?
crazy.
What do you mean you walked that fashion
We
week,
should have
Garrett?
seen that in the show, people. You should. Why didn't
He
we
was
see
not
that he
giving
was
fashion
fashion
model in the
before?
show,
Not
right?
at all.
I did not believe that. I was like, how is he walking in fashion week
It felt weird.
before? Did that happen before the show aired? Like, I doubt it, right? Like, who would just select him to walk in fashion week? It just, I had a lot of questions. But yeah, he did look better. He did look a lot better. Mm-hmm. Okay, my black
Final
love,
couple.
Ashley and Tyler. So excited.
We left off with this bomb that he has sperm babies. And we talk about how there's all this stuff blowing up on social media about it. Yet we still have to watch them like on screen look like a really happy, perfect couple. Right? Like if we didn't know all the outside stuff, I probably would have enjoyed it. Right? Meeting all the parents and doing the dress fitting, the suit fittings, them getting emotional, having a beautiful black wedding. They jumped the broom. Like everything about it, if I didn't in my head know about this baby mama drama, I would have loved.
Everything about this season makes me so upset. Like literally that wedding, I was like, I cannot watch this. This is horrible.
So hard.
And I'm like, Netflix, I just no. It was so bad. Hard. Like I wanted to love Ashley and Tyler so much. In the beginning, I did. I really loved them, right? Remember they were praying together and they're and like all this stuff. I was like, I love this couple. And then I feel like I've just been gaslit and put in a laundry machine and just like
put through the ringer.
Drowning. Okay. So we broke down the Tyler's baby mama drama. And it was interesting. We got some more light on this in the reunion. Nick and Vanessa Lachey once again let me down. They're like, Tyler, tell us about this whole situation. You told on camera that there were sperm babies, but now we're led to believe that you might have had a relationship with the kids and the mom. Like, please clarify. And it just felt like he was talking in circles. What he was saying was so vague. He was like, the family didn't ask for this. The kids didn't ask for this. I'm trying to keep them. Yes, I'm trying to protect them and keep them out of this. And I literally, when he started with that, I was like, please stop. I immediately made me upset.
Okay, great.
Yeah, so you're not going to give us any information.
No.
And he was like, yes, I was helping a close friend and her wife have a baby. And then I sent you a video of the ex-wife telling this crazy story about Tyler and his quote friend, and how they like kind of like had a relationship, and instead of like, you know, doing the quote turkey baster method and like artificial insemination, she insinuated that like her and Tyler had sex to have the baby.
Laura, you can't.
I'm sick. I'm so I was like, how does this story get worse? Lord. I was just like, oh my gosh. And she was like, yeah, like we tried artificial insemination like 2-3 times and it failed. And then I was on a trip and I came back and Tyler's friend and her wife at the time was like, I'm pregnant. And she was like, I knew that they did something. I knew that they had sex while I was gone. And I was like,
Laura, I can't.
I'm so disgusted. I need to know. And then he was like, yeah, like the ex-wife left unexpectedly and I had to step in. I was in a single parent household. I had to make sure that she was okay. I care about my friend. And I was just like, these all sound like lies. I just don't trust any of it. Why are you taking family portraits with these kids? Why are they calling you daddy? None of it makes sense.
Even if, let's say, they're actually his sperm babies, it just feels very messy. Because obviously they know him as more than just their sperm.
No, yeah, he's involved in their lives.
He's involved in their lives. And they tried to play it down and to protect the family and kids. But it honestly feels like he was not divulging the full situation. So he could still be with Ashley. And Ashley is on board. She was
She's
supporting
defending
her
her
man.
man. She's defending her
That was
man.
probably the biggest shock of the reunion. I can
I
bet
could
you
not believe it.
every woman watching that show was shocked. They've been on this.
Every black woman in America is furious.
They're like, girl, we thought you were about to say you're getting an annulment. Not you
Not
are
supporting your
supporting
man
this man.
who has 3 kids.
Just is giving
No.
it's giving soap
No.
opera. So everything about it made me upset.
It's giving Jerry Springer. It's giving it's giving it's giving Love and Hip Hop. Like what? Come on now, Ashley.
Even if it started out like very thoughtful and not messy, it clearly is messy now because his friend is no longer with her partner. The kids obviously have more of a relationship with him now than they anticipated. There have been some rumors and accusations that they may have slept together. Like,
What?
this is obviously
Come
a big
on.
can of worms.
Yeah.
And I guess we just have to be, I don't know. If Ashley believes it and is happy, then okay, whatever. Like, what can I say?
Yeah, right. Like that's her man. That's
her
her marriage. If she's happy, I won't say if she's happy, I'm happy. If she's happy, cool. Like enjoy. I hope you have a happy relationship. I personally am not rooting for that because I think Tyler's a clown, and he said that he told Ashley everything off camera. I still don't know if I believe that. But if Ashley, is saying that's true, then maybe he did say everything. I can't root for them. I can't. Because regardless, he didn't tell her about that in the pods because he was trying to avoid that being on camera. And it's like, why are you on Love is Blind? If you're not going to share your life and try and hide things, it's like, why are you on this show? I just like, I'm over Tyler. I'm over Tyler. I think Ashley's a gem, and I just want better for her. I really
do. Oof. Everything about their story is tough.
Devastating. Not Shelby the Black Love this season was torturous. No. Okay.
Hard to watch, that's for sure.
Very hard to watch. Okay, other things about the reunion. Didn't it just feel awkward and random in general?
Yes.
Like this reunion felt so bizarre.
Yeah, I like how last season, I think it was the first time they started to bring in Love is Blind, like all-stars or like couples to check in, right? Alexa and Brennan were there, and she's like, I'm having a baby. Like, I thought
that made more sense.
That made sense. This season, it felt like they were grasping at straws, and like
they're like, who's available?
Yeah, like a lot of people said no, maybe because they brought back the icon Jessica from season 1, who was with Mark.
She is an icon.
Who gave her
dog wine.
Iconic. She was brought back. And they said, oh, yeah, who recently got married. I'm like, she got married like 3 years ago or something.
When they said that, I was like, wait, when she said 2022 and her kid was like this tall running across the stage.
This is not a recent. I brought her last time. What are you talking about?
Y'all brought her 2 years. Like, please, Love is Blind, stop gaslighting
me.
They needed something. Who was available?
Else because I'm like, you brought Jessica out here who got married like 2.5 years ago and now has a kid that wasn't just born.
The kid's running around.
It felt very bizarre.
Producers, stop. We're not that dumb, producers. Please. And Nancy was there. And at first I didn't recognize her. She looked different.
I didn't recognize her either.
Why? Why was she there? She was like, yeah, I moved to New York. Woo!
For me. Not because of a job. Not because of a man. For me.
For me. And like that's all Nancy had to say? Like, come on,
waste
now, Love is Blind.
Did not need to be there.
Waste of her time, waste of our time. Who cares?
Waste of money. They probably bought her flight.
Paid her, yeah, maybe a couple grand.
Oh my gosh, what a joke!
I know. Marshall felt strange. He was like, "Yeah, you know what? I'm single and I moved to LA." And that was his update.
Remember what that weird comment he said? He's like, "Yeah, I'm like." working towards higher or something. Like, he had like those weirdest comment.
So you're unemployed. Like that's what it was giving. He's like, yeah, I'm working towards my, my higher power, my future. Like he was saying things that were not making sense. And then he awkwardly was like, and yeah, I'm single. Like, and the way
did not need to be there either.
No,
I'm in LA now. Sorry, Bliss,
needed a
not
check.
in Seattle. It's like, do they care that you're not in Seattle?
And like, they're like, oh, like clearly they did not hang out.
So weird. Everything about it.
I think the only person, like AD felt correct there, because now she's kind of like a personality. She was right, and she was on their last season, right? She felt way more relevant. And Zach and Bliss, of course, because right, they had a baby. I think having couples there makes sense. Like, why do we need Nancy, Marshall, and AD just sitting there? I think couples,
successful couples from the show.
Yes, because last season they had Brett and Tiffany. Yes, not Jessica and this man who slid into her DMs
like
3 years ago.
Showed videos and like photos. I'm like, I don't know who this man is. I don't care.
I don't care about Jessica and her man who slid into her DMs in 2020. That was literally 4 years ago.
That's why I was like, this is not recent.
Strange. I know. They're like, and her new husband. Girl,
and like,
where?
Coming, and it's her son. I was like, you guys are really
like
doing the most.
Why? That reunion did not need to be 90 minutes, an hour and a half, and 10 of them were of Jessica and this random man and her kid.
I literally had to keep pausing it because I was getting like bored. I was struggling to get through. Like doing other things.
8 minutes in, I had to pause it. I was already over it. They were like showing all these people I don't care about. Tyler was talking in circles about his baby mama drama. I was like, no, Love is Blind. Like I was already over it. Oh my gosh. Yeah, and right, I feel like Vanessa and Nick regressed. They did such a bad job during this reunion. It was so awkward. They did not press Tyler at all in his story, in his recount of this shady, messy story. No follow-up questions. We need answers. Did you sleep with the mom? Like, do the kids know? The kids obviously know what you look like. What's your current relationship? When was the last time you seen them? We all saw the trending Facebook post of, where's Tyler? His kids need him. Like, Nick and Vanessa, we need you to step up and ask these questions. They did such a bad job with that.
Laura. They need to be fired.
Okay, who should host Love is Blind? Lauren and Cameron.
It's so obvious.
Lauren and Cameron. They're already hosting things. They have a YouTube channel.
By not giving it to them.
Why? Nick and Vanessa did such a bad job at this reunion, and this reminded me of why everyone doesn't like them. And the way, like you said earlier, everyone was coming for Nick. We did not press Steven. We did not press Ramses, and we did not press Tim. Where were the follow-up questions? None. Vanessa, and the only time Vanessa stepped in was when Alex and Tim were going back and forth, and she was like, I think we need to stop this conversation, and you guys need to have a one-on-one talk outside of the reunion. I was like, that's when you're gonna step in. You're not gonna ask Tim a follow-up question being like, hey, you didn't answer this. Can you actually answer that? I thought that was so dumb. Nick made some weird jokes. He was remember he yawned and he was like, oh, I'm so tired.
I'm not talking about you, Alex. I'm talking about you, Steven.
No, I actually was so confused by that. I was like, wait, what are you talking about?
Not have made the edit. They should have.
I'm like, who's editing this? They also said wrap it up 10 times. They're like, wrap it up.
We get it. It's
Marissa and Ramses.
Okay.
And I was like,
come on,
please stop. They felt like they regressed so much in this reunion. It was unhinged. It was messy. I was like, were they drunk?
I'm screaming.
At the end, Leo made a toast. Remember? And Vanessa was like,
I must have been zoning out.
You must have skipped it. And Vanessa was like, oh no, Nick said, oh, Leo, wait, first take a sip out of
yes,
Courtney's drink.
Out of
what's
Courtney? No, the blonde
aspiring Brittany. He's like, take a sip out of Brittany's drink. So weird.
Yeah,
why would you say that?
Because she had said yeah, it really annoyed me in Miami. Like Leo kept sipping my drink. That's the thing that annoys you the most about Leo.
That's
That
why you ended things with
your
him?
cocktail.
It's giving Tim being like, well, Alex, you took a nap. And it's like, it's
That was
giving
hysterical to
excuses.
me. I'm like, you and Leo were incompatible for so many reasons,
And it
but
was
the
him taking
reason
sips out of your
why
drink.
you can't travel with
Okay.
him is because he kept sipping your cocktail. Okay.
Okay, girl. And then his toast at the end was like, we had fun. Love is done. Here's our wine to love is blind. Like he said something.
I missed that. Yikes.
He said the most, and people were like, "Oh, Leo has bars." Remember Tim?
Oh
Tim
my
is a clown.
god. I
Tim was
remember
like, "Oh,
that.
Leo's bars. He could best Kendrick." He said something like that, and I was like, "Why are you enabling this man?" I was like, "Please stop hyping him up. This guy's a
Everything about
clown."
him gets worse and worse.
Tim is the worst. I love this being like, I do not like Tim at all. And then Leo's toast at the end really icked me out, and I immediately was like, I gotta go. I gotta go. That reunion was a mess. It was bad. Um, it upset me.
So bad.
Okay. Anything else you need to add about the reunion?
Wasted time. Didn't really learn
Ooh,
anything.
nothing.
Didn't enjoy it. Did not need to be 90 minutes.
100% agree. Waste of time. It just irked me even more about this season. Okay. On to red flag, green flag, 1, 2, 3, our game. Shelby, is it a red flag to double down like Hannah did?
Yes. Especially when you're in the wrong. I think if Alex was doubling down about like how bad Tim is, I'd be like, yeah, double down on that because Tim was really rude to you and
Yeah, he was horrible.
showed red flags, right? Like, I think if Marissa was like really mad at Ramses for how he treated her and she doubled down, I'd be like, yeah, you should. Hannah, obviously, there's things we did not see and that Nick probably did, which has led Hannah to be mad at him. But if you are acknowledging you were mean to him and direct to him, and yet you can't apologize, girl, you should not have doubled down. Just be like, yeah, Nick, like, I'm upset that you did certain things to me and yada, yada, yada. But I definitely shouldn't have spoken to you in that way.
I see what you remember when AD was like, period, like in the audience.
Yeah.
Part of me can't like I can respect what she's saying, but it's like, girl, she didn't have it seemed like she didn't have any humility in that moment.
No.
It's like you can be like, I am direct, I am harsh. I'm trying to work on that. I'm sorry that I was so mean to you. Like she was just like, that's my personality. I could have said it better. And it just like that can be true. Like
on business. It's
yes.
like what? Like when AD said period, I was like, this is not a women empowerment thing right now. This is
not at all. I want to like root for Hannah, but
sure. Like I think it's good that she has a voice and is strong.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's not confident, but right, she
I think I love myself.
Things to say.
Yeah. And the fact that she was like, I stand by everything I said. I was like, oof, that's tough. That is tough. Okay.
Question for you, Laura. Is it a green flag to keep things off camera?
I can understand where they're coming from. Tyler's like, I want to try and like protect the identity of the kids. And like Ashley being like, I don't want all your business out there. And it's like, but you're on Love is Blind.
Why'd you sign up for a reality show?
Why did you sign up to be on Love is Blind if you know you have a messy past and you want to protect the identity of these children? Why did you go on Love is Blind? You know that all this stuff is going to come out. The idea of keeping all this stuff off camera, and Alex and Tim, when Alex was like, I was trying to protect you this whole time. You said things to me. The producers were trying to like get in the room and like all this stuff. I'm just like, I wish we saw all of this because I feel like the producers didn't do a good job. The editors didn't do a good job because it felt like the audience was just out of the loop for so much of what happened this season. We were missing a lot of context. So, no, it's not a green flag to keep things off camera. Don't sign up to go on Love is Blind if you want to keep your love life and private life private.
Completely
Bye.
agree.
Get out of here.
100%. And even like Tim and Alex, like Alex, like, yeah, I was trying to protect you because you were acting crazy. It's like, if Tim can't control his emotions,
Girl, that's not on
that's
you.
not on you. If
Let
he's
that man
gonna look
act out.
bad to his family and friends and to the world, that's on him.
And he looked bad in the reunion. And
Yeah.
he showed his true colors in the reunion.
Oof.
He came off really bad.
Really bad. Okay, Laura. Overall, how are we feeling about Love is Blind season 7? Is it a wait or a watch?
I'm a wait. I think that Love is Blind is a show that I really enjoy and look forward to. And I think especially coming off the heels of UK season 1, which was like such a
Good.
delightful season and so refreshing and mature. And these people weren't train wrecks of human beings with secret families. Like I just think that the season started off. I think it started off well. I was really excited. I was telling my friends to watch it. I was like, guys, you gotta see the season. Like, it's super diverse. Like, we have so many couples, 7 engagements. Like, we don't get that on a lot of seasons. So I was really excited. But everything about it was just really disappointing. There isn't a couple I'm like excited about. It was just really messy and dramatic. There were a lot of breakups. It just wasn't fun to watch.
I'm aligned. It's a wait for me as well. Started off really strong and then plummeted. I kid you not, once all the tea and drama about Tyler came out, I could barely watch. I didn't want to watch.
It was
I did not want to watch
gross.
this scenes with Ashley.
It was icky.
I could barely watch the finale. I could barely watch the reunion. It was not entertaining like it has in the past. And like you said, it's crazy because Love is Blind UK was just so good.
Fantastic.
And now I'm worried about US again. Let's
shambles.
See what happens, but it's not looking good. And they turning out seasons. They announced at the reunion that season 8 in Minneapolis will be coming out February 2025, around Valentine's Day, to celebrate the 5-year anniversary of the premiere of Love is Blind, season 1. Crazy. 5 years, 8 seasons. They just
math
can't let us breathe.
No.
At all.
Yeah. Minneapolis. What do you think? How do you think that season's going to go?
The last time they were in the Midwest in Chicago, it was a hot mess. So I'm not.
That season was so bad.
That was the Shake season. It was the
Shane and Shayna.
And Ayana and the black guy.
Oh, not them.
Yeah,
like, and Jarrett.
Yeah,
horrible.
The Chicago season was
a bad season. That was a bad season.
It's iconic because of the mess, but like Natalie and Shane, like Deep D and Shake, like it's iconic for the mess, but not for quality and love. So I'm a little worried.
Yeah, that season was an absolute mess. Would I have trouble putting them on my shoulders? Like, that season was so wild. Yeah.
Bad.
Hopefully
it's better.
Hopefully it's better. I'm going to keep my expectations low because I was excited about DC.
DC broke my heart. I was hopeful.
It was so funny. A friend of mine who like lived in DC for a couple years was like, well, I've been telling people that men in DC are garbage, so that's why this season was so bad. I was like, I mean, the men on this season were pretty bad.
Probably the worst the men have been.
I know, and we had Shake on the season.
Like, this was pretty bad. Like you said, if the best man is Garrett, like...
What's going on if the
best Cameron, there's no black guy who worked at Nike. Like, there's no one like that.
Right? I know. The best man on the season is Garrett. Garrett's fine. Like, he's fine.
Actually, the season where Milton was the best guy, that was bad. Milton and Lady.
Dallas #2, horrible season. Horrible season.
That one actually probably had it worse, because why is Milton like a 24-year-old looking like the best guy?
What a mess. And Shelby, you told me that you have a friend who was thinking about applying on Love is Blind.
Yes. I guess season 9 is going to be in Detroit. I don't know if it's been announced, but they were casting in Detroit, and I had a friend that was thinking about applying, and she didn't. She should have.
Oh my,
But
what a missed
I
opportunity.
know. It would have been cool to know someone who goes on Love is
That
Blind.
would have been amazing.
But it just means we have more Love is Blind to look forward to. So in terms of what to watch, people, get ready.
Now we're hopping over to the Midwest.
They're just
Minneapolis, Detroit.
whew.
We need a Bay Area Los Angeles. We need that. I know those seasons would be like train wrecks, but I need to see
if they're
California.
nervous about LA, do like San Diego.
Yeah. Or even I feel like a Bay Area could be good.
Yeah, because you have Oakland, you have Berkeley, you have like a lot. Yeah, it's right.
Come on, Bay Area Love is Blind.
I feel like they'd be nervous about LA, as we talked about, because
probably not LA. San Diego or Bay Area should be next. I think that would be good.
Agreed.
Yes. Okay. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode, sisters who watch more than season 7 of Love is Blind. And if you did enjoy this episode, please give us 5 stars wherever you listen.
Yes, please.
Apple Podcast, Spotify, 5 stars. Yeah. And follow us on all our social medias at Sisters Who Watch. Give us a like, drop a comment on what you thought about this madness train wreck of a season. And you can support us by donating, listener support on Spotify, Zelling us, and buying our merch at sisterswhowatch.com.
Yes, we appreciate y'all so much. We want to hear from you, so please comment on our posts, DM us on social media, comment on YouTube, even Spotify. Give us recommendations or suggestions. We really appreciate y'all. Thank you for tuning in.
Everything! Stay watching.